Welcome to HDPP Live on a Wednesday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District past and present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. Wearing Hinckley's 6 of the best, stupendous quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chapter applauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know we keep it in HDPP.
Oh, here we go again. My word, here we are once again. It's Monday night, it's peeing it down outside. So let's contribute to it, shall we? Welcome to Hinckley District, past and present live, Monday nights. And it's a bit dreary out there. And already I can see people in the chat room saying it's wet here, we've wet in Devon, we've wet in Cornwall, we've wet everywhere, but who cares? Good evening. Oh, here we go, and let's get the dinger going. Remember to like. Oh, I love it when it, oh, I know. I shall come out and find, yeah. How can I go with all that going on in the background? Remember to like our video, please, because it helps us tremendously. And Mrs. G does the live dings, you know. That's what we pay her for, but she won't appear. Anyway, welcome to the programme. Lots of people already in the chat room. First person here this evening was Danny14201. Oh, Danny14201, good evening. Welcome in Walker. And we're in. Nice to know that you're in. You're going to like tonight's programme. I promise you, it's going to be good. Keep the dings coming. Pat Galloway's here. Hi, Pat. Sorry I didn't have a chance to have a good chat with you on Friday at the memorial, but great that you was there. A big cooey to everybody who's here tonight. Yes, John Denny and Kath, they're in Cornwall. I hope he took his book with him So when you have these wet nights, you can sit there and still be working on the book, John. That's what we want. Mary Blake is here as well. Nice to know that you're there, Mary. And along Daniel Coburn is here too. I thought he would have been first on the doorstep this evening, but beaten by Danny14201. Now, Anne Hunt, she's in Cornwall. So she's in Devon, a very wet Devon, apparently. I was just looking actually on the webcams for Dawlish, and it was all looking a bit. So anyway, but hopefully we can cheer up your Monday evening. Alan Crops here. The crops are in. Absolutely. When the crops are in, don't you just feel like it? Oh yeah. Let's hear it for the crops. Yes. Ding those bells, absolutely. Thanks, Alan. Glad you're here with Marie as well this evening. And Kath Denny here. Are you there with John, or are you on separate locations? Clive Armstrong's here as well, and people commenting on my nice little edit at the beginning of the programme, because you know the theme tune was written for a Wednesday and a Saturday night, and we haven't got it for a Monday, so I have to throw it in every Monday night when we do this. Don't worry, we are returning to Saturday nights, sort of, let's say, late August, I would say, is when we'll get back to Saturday nights. Again, loads of new ideas for the broadcasts as well, so you're going to like it. Not a lot, but you're going to like it. Okay then, now, let's see, who else is there? I'll just scroll down the list. Keep those things coming, yes, because Anne Hunt is near Ottery St Mary. Absolutely lovely place, says Devon. And Gary Betterley says, walked up and down Castle Street last week looking for the bear with the hat. No luck. Oh, Gary, you should have said. I could have loved to have caught up with you. Anyway, all right then. Yes, and Ian Roberts calling us Rocky Gardener. Absolutely, it is with those bells going. Keep the likes coming in, please. Remember to like and subscribe. Now then, hello, John Fletcher's here as well. Hi, John. I think you'll enjoy a bit of tonight's programme as well. Also, let's see, I'm just going now, yeah, even the Kirby's, Jan's made it tonight. Well done, Jan. That's what we like, my word. Okay, listen, we've had a wonderful few days here at HDPP. We've had scanning. Friday we was commemorating 100 years of the Town War Memorial. We've got footage tonight for you. Some which you've already seen because it was on the telly. And a little bit of those which you've not yet seen because it's still in the editing room. But I've lifted a bit out from our wonderful videoing from Mr. John Fletcher. So we're going to show you just a little bit because he's busy working on it apparently. So I'm leaving him to it because I've got other fish to fry here. I can tell you absolutely. And let's explore the man himself, Mr. Stephen Picker. He is in the building. Oh, Mr. Noser. He's here. And we'll be having a noser with our Steve in a bit. That's a little bit later on in the programme. I had originally... Is he worth that much? No, they just won't stop, will they? Okay, that's enough. They won't pay in next. It has been a busy few days, as I say, because we were at the memorial. And well done to Ian Walker, Greg Droach, for the work that they did to ensure, particularly Ian, who I know... did a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes, so well done. But it was a shame the day was slightly damp, but we got through it. It wasn't enough to sort of put the dampers on it, as it were, but it was great. And if you've seen the photograph which we posted from Glyn Morley at the end of the day, so at the end of all what we did on Friday, this most beautiful rainbow appeared over the War Memorial, and it really did look like a thank you, that it was much appreciated. And I think we all ought to take that home with us and carry it in our hearts, because we really did do something special on the night. Okay then, right. Now then, let's get into a few things here, because there's lots of things going on. First of all, our social night. Now, don't forget this, on Wednesday night, it's going to be a great night. Don't miss it. These guys will not be coming again, probably ever. But I'm really pleased they're going to come in and tell us all about the dark days of World War II and the secrets in Market Bosworth. I should have really have had the dramatic... I forgot I got that button, but it's going to be a great night. Come along, please come along. Let's ram the greyhound out for the night. We will be having a collection for the guys from the Shackerston Railway, the Battlefield line, and because it's just to help them get along with their maintenance and stuff. It's the least we can do, because I've got a feeling going to be a great night. Now, we had a great scanning session the other night, Sorry, the other afternoon, morning. It was morning. I'm forgetting now. It was Saturday morning. So much were going on. So that was really good too. And pictures. Sometimes we get loads of pictures. This time, not so much picture. We had things brought in to show us and things like that, which was really good. And a lot of people who caught up with saying how much they'd appreciated and enjoyed Friday at the memorial. As I say, footage coming up very, very shortly. Now then, let me also tell you that another event coming up. I shall have the tickets on Wednesday night once again. Free tickets. And this is an evening at Sellers in the company of Joseph Barsby and the G Seller team. We've done this before and it's always so popular. And the tickets are free. We've printed so many so we know how many people are coming. Don't hesitate, because I tell you now, since I put the advert up, already a good chunk of the tickets have gone. People have been sending me emails. I'm coming. Can you send me tickets? Blah blah blah. So please, if you intend to come along, that is great. But pick your tickets up. If you're coming on Wednesday night to the social night, then just ask Sue and the girls will have the tickets there. They are free. But and the good thing is we get great tea and biscuits and coffee at Sellers. That's why I'm going. But seriously, it's a great evening. And there's a great question and answer session with Joseph and with Kevin and a few others. And I tell you, it is truly fantastic, you know. So there you go. Okay, so that's, as I say, that's on the 28th of June. It's a Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock start. And really looking forward to that, and we'll see how it all works out. But you must get a ticket so we can, accommodate you, as it were. Brilliant stuff. Okay then. Now then, so being as it is such a damp evening, let's see if we can get off to a bit of a start. First of all, we have Where in Hinckley, and we also have the anagram question to come this evening. Let's get right to it, shall we? So we'll set these now, and then after we've you've done all this, we'll get into the films we've got this evening. So first of all, we are talking Where in Hinckley. Good one, I think, a nice one. I may have used it before, I can't remember. But as always, when you see it, don't put where it is. Just say, yep, I know where it is, or you don't. That's fair enough. But I'll ask you to give us an answer by the end of the programme. So, first of all, Where in Hinckley? Oh, missus, there's a little window in the apex there. But where is it? I'll leave it on the screen a few moments' time. Pat Galloway, no, it's not late to get a ticket for Wednesday, mate. You've okay, come along. Just come along, Pat, you'll be fine. He's talking about the social night. Yeah, come along, Pat, you'll be okay. We'll squeeze you in, no problem. Now then, yes, Where in Hinckley? Can you see that little window which gives a very commanding view, believe it or not? But where is it? We'll give you the answer at the end of the programme, but have a good guess, but don't let everybody know, because they'll all want to jump on the bandwagon. So there you go. That is Where in Hinckley. Okay, right. And for one thing to another, now what I have to do is I'm going to go straight to the anagram question now. But of course, it's going to start in the wrong place. So give me a moment while I get it to go the right way. Here we go. There's your anagram question. Ha ha ha! I had to tell Mrs. G what this was, because we was trying to get a real cryptic clue together. But in the end, we couldn't do a cryptic clue because it gave it away. That's how easy this one is, I think. So, absorbance hyphenates raincoat. Rearrange that. This was once very well known on the edge of the town. Not there now, but it was. Have a think. So I'll leave it on the screen for a few moments so David Blower can write down all the right letters. Absorbance hyphenates raincoat. Rearrange that. Okay. And it will give you a once well-known, I think I could say landmark. I think I can say that, on the edge of the town. Good evening to David Stanbury. Said, sorry we're late, Paul. That's okay, David. We won't put you in detention this evening. Now then, Oh dear, there's going to be a fallout. I'll tell you in a moment. There you go. I'm leaving it on the screen a few moments' time while I tell you that Alan Cropp is messaging Jan to say Mike is away golfing on the 28th of June. Oh dear. He'll probably be having it. No, I'm not going to say anything. I'll get in trouble for that. However, there we go. So there's the anagram. Absorbance, -H, raincoat. Rearrange that to get a once well-known landmark on the edge of the town. Oh, Paul, you are. We'll come back to that in a little while's time, okay? But that's what we're doing there. Now then, okay then. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, as you can see, things are busy there in the chat room. It's lovely to see people in the chat room. If you just come in, just joined us this evening, good evening. It's great to have your company. Remember to like the video because it helps us with our biorhythms and all blooming sorts, whatever it is. Yeah, David Blow. Is the second letter supposed to be a D? Well, if it's on the screen, yes. I can assure you we've double checked it and sent it to Eurovision to be double checked out. So there. We'll come back to the anagram after we've had some films this evening. Coming back, and we are, of course, talking about the events that have gone on in the town in the last few days. Absolutely brilliant. And as I say, how good it was, how brilliant, how special it was. What I'm going to do is show you some of the TV footage, which I've managed to get hold of. And so, first of all, good evening. I don't know who that. I don't know. I just heard noises. I don't know. Really strange. So, what we're going to do is show you the TV coverage first. So, for those of you that have missed it, for those of you that obviously can't get it, oh, by the way, Carol Sacconi, hello. In a very hot New Orleans, she's going to like this too. So, those people that couldn't see it on the internet or missed it at the night, this is going to be your chance to see it. Okay, right. Okay then. Now, so first of all, this was our friend Amy Payne from BBC East Midlands today, and they came along, and this was their report.
Now, a Leicestershire War Memorial has been rededicated today, 100 years to the day after it was first unveiled. Today's event, attended by hundreds of people in the town, replicated the original ceremony back in 1922. Although, thanks to modern research, some of history's errors were put right, as Amy Payne has been finding out.
May all who pass by and look thereon be reminded of a greater sacrifice.
100 years to the day after it was first unveiled, Hinckley's War Memorial is rededicated. Just like in 1922, this is an occasion that matters, bringing generations together in this Leicestershire town.
It was important to organise it because it's too much of a significant event that we can't leave it, and it's in honour of those who have fallen and in the honour of those who died and in honour of the families who campaigned to have this memorial put here.
Work began on the first part of the memorial, this column, in November 1921, and with the completion of the nearby wall, it was officially unveiled and dedicated 6 months later in a ceremony attended by hundreds. Scenes replicated today, almost.
When this war memorial was originally dedicated, these 385 names were inscribed, but later research revealed in fact more men were killed in the First World War. Their names are now honoured here, along with those who died in later conflicts.
At a nearby cafe, I'm meeting the local historian behind that research, who's keen, he tells me, to right history's wrongs. At the original ceremony, 3 mothers were invited to lay wreaths because they'd each lost 3 sons in the First World War. But it emerged there were more.
I knew that there were 6 mothers who'd all lost 3 sons. So I thought, well, this can't be right. There was only 3 dead. I don't understand why. But I thought, well, I can put the wrongs of history right.
And so he tracked down descendants of all 6 mothers who today played a part in the ceremony. Among them is Adrian Hill, whose great-grandmother not only laid a wreath 100 years ago, but the foundation stone before that.
Must have been very emotional and sad time for her. You know, got to be brave, haven't you? Yeah.
Did you feel emotional laying the wreath?
I did.
Adrian's great-grandmother's flowers were among those laid here to remember men who made the ultimate sacrifice. 100 years on, at this lasting tribute, the errors of history have finally been put right. Amy Payne, BBC East Midlands Today, Hinckley.
100 years after 6 mothers who had each lost 3 sons in World War I laid the foundation stone of a war memorial in Hinckley, their relatives have come together to remember them in a special ceremony.
Yes, last month an appeal was launched to find family of the original 6 women, and in fact one of those families, the Dixons, were tracked down with just a few days to spare. The event today also marks the centenary of the war memorial. Danny Crawshaw was there.
Six mothers who had each lost 3 sons laid the foundation stone for this war memorial before it was unveiled 100 years ago. Today their descendants came to honour those who lost their lives, including the relatives of Mary Ann Dixon, whose sons Herbert, Joseph and William were killed in action in France in 1917 and 1918. Their nephew and his daughter can't imagine the heartache the deaths caused.
It was unbearable, I imagine, because although times have changed, people haven't really changed, and I can't imagine how they soldiered on. And that's one of the reasons why I'm proud.
He was quite young when his brothers went to the First War, so he didn't really know them very much, and he didn't really speak a lot of them, and it must have been very traumatic for his mum, you know, to send 3 boys away and then for them, you know, never to return.
Come back.
As well as other relatives, there was music from the Salvation Army, and members of the community gathered to pay their respects, including local school children.
It made me feel emotional because there's so many people that gave their life for our freedom.
I felt like it was quite an honour to be here, because this is the people who sacrificed their life for our freedom in our country, so we have peace.
The ceremony ended with family members laying a wreath.
It was very moving, to be honest. Just a simple comment, we will not forget.
And we won't.
I'm filling up. Yeah.
The family members and a community that will never forget the sacrifices made. Danny Crawshaw, ITV News.
And there we have it, you see. Amazing. So for the benefit of people that haven't seen that, I'm sure, particularly those, in foreign lands that tune our way, probably to see your hometown and how we commemorated 100 years of the memorial, which happened last Friday. And quite a few nice comments, actually, in the chat room, as you can see. As I say, Ian Walker had a hell of a lot to do and getting people together, getting it together, and backed up by Greg, and to a lesser degree myself, and one thing and another, then great. The Salvation Army band was lovely, absolutely. Paul Holt did a wonderful job directing the band, absolutely. And Ian said massive thanks to his son, who was his rock that day. Yes, we all need a rock, absolutely. No worries at all. And it was my honour and pleasure and privilege to lay a wreath on behalf of Hinckley District, past and present. And I was delighted that I didn't feature in any of the footage that went out on air. Made a change, actually. But we'll put that right in a moment, because actually in this next little bit you're going to see, you can say, now what I thought would be interesting, for those of you that sort of don't know the history and whatnot, get the DVD. Highly recommended. Get the DVD, which we have produced. It's for sale in Jaspers. And if you get the DVD along with the roll call, the 2 DVDs together are great. But let me show you a bit of exclusive footage now, shot by my friend John Fletcher, who was there for HDPP, and just to get plenty of footage which we could use in with the forthcoming thing of this. And we thought we'd show you the bit where Greg Droach gives you his address to the assembled peoples there on that very special day.
Worshipful Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, and younger people. On Saturday, May 20th, 1922, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this war memorial was dedicated to the commemoration and remembrance of the men of this town who had lost their lives in the Great War. Almost 30 years later, memorial panels for the dead of the Second World War would be added, and they included the civilian dead of the bombing of Merivale Avenue in 1941. In 2005, addenda panels were also added to the memorial to record the names that were missed off first time around. Those names have been brought forward by modern research and unearthed as casualties of both world wars. Could there be a more idyllic setting for the war memorial than this place? Because here we are, on top of an ancient castle mound with its surviving moat, in the centre of a town of ancient lineage, mentioned in Shakespeare, and set in the heart of England. This was not the first war memorial in Hinckley. Large crosses of white lilies stood in the borough in 1919 and 1920. The first permanent memorial was unveiled in St Mary's Parish Church by the Women's Bible class. The ad hoc committee of leading citizens that had been established to complete the task of fundraising to pay for this memorial and to secure a suitable location struggled and deliberated for a number of years before getting to this point. When they were eventually offered these surrounding gardens by the Co-op Society, they went ahead, having only raised 3/4 of the money needed. In today's money, that committee raised an equivalent of £189,000, all by public subscription. There were no local authority grants or central government levelling up grants, no heritage action zone, no wealthy benefactors to bankroll the project. This was truly a people's memorial. The memorial is, of course, in two parts: the column behind you and the panel of names behind me. The column is often neglected as we all face forward, as we are doing today, at remembrance services. Yet this column is absolutely integral and vital to remembrance in this place. I don't know whether you have realised it yet, ladies and gentlemen, but you are standing in the middle of a large sundial. You wouldn't have thought so on a day like today. Had it been yesterday, it might have been more obvious. But here we are in a timepiece. When the sun moves across the horizon from the east over here to the west over there, it casts a shadow from the column and the Angel of Mercy, and that shadow traverses the names on this memorial. It makes the inscription on the memorial both ancient and contemporary. Their name liveth for evermore. So here, set in this timepiece, for every second of every minute of every hour, of every day and every week and every month, and indeed every year, for 100 years now and into the distant future, their names are recalled. The inscription, taken from the King James Bible, the Book of Ecclesiasticus, will be found at every Commonwealth War Graves Commission memorial and cemetery across the world. On the panels, you will eventually see some names bracketed together. These mark brothers who fell in the war. In 5 cases, there are 3 names bracketed together, and in one case, a 3rd brother appears on one of the addenda panels, placed here in 2005. Each of these families is represented here today by descendants, and with respect to our dignitaries, these families are our VIPs. So the families are Attenborough, Bolesworth, Dolby, Dixon, Sharp and Nichols. Each of these families has their own stories, as do indeed each of the names on the memorial. Now it is said that you should not ask a lady's age, but I did earlier on this morning, because Mrs. Alma Joyce, representing the Bolesworth family, is 98 years old and has made a special trip to be here this morning. 100 years ago, there were many military personnel standing where you are, both officers and other ranks. And we are privileged to have here with us the great nephew of the principal military figure 100 years ago, Colonel Robert Martin, who is a Deputy Lord Lieutenant of the county, follows in the footsteps of his great uncle, Colonel Robert E. Martin, who unveiled the memorial, but who also came, almost 30 years later, as Alderman Robert Martin, Chairman of the County Council, to inaugurate the Second World War panels. The large flag behind me is also the original flag of 100 years ago, used to cover the memorial. Amazingly, it has survived, and even more miraculously, it has been found. The Salvation Army Band provide the musical accompaniment for us today, as they did 100 years ago. 100 years ago, a large crowd of 4,000 people was mainly composed of school pupils and students. So we thank our young people for being with us here today. It was not a school day. 100 years ago, the town's clergy was strongly represented, and the officiating principal was the chairman of the Urban District Council, whose equivalent today is the worshipful mayor of Hinckley and Bosworth. So today, we will bring into relief both parts of the memorial, panels and column, as was the case 100 years ago. And in 100 years' time, people will look back on our efforts here today. Let them judge and record that we came together to undertake today's service in a spirit of homage and respect to those who went before us, and whose lives and the lives of their families and friends were rent asunder by the dirty devices of war.
And there we are, just an excerpt from the video which John Fletcher videoed for us on behalf of HDPP. And we say we are editing it. We're going to sort of put it all together. So John tells me, oh, and another like, and another like. Thank you very much. And as I say, I just want to show a bit about Greg, because I think his delivery and everything behind it, the research to the memorial, is all thanks to Greg. So if Greg is watching this evening, which I know sometimes he does, well done, mate. Really, really proud. I'm glad I could play a small part in helping that DVD come along and all the rest of it. Good. So there we go. So as you can appreciate, for those of you that are not local and like I say, are viewing this, like Carol Saccone out there in New Orleans and a few others, give them a chance to see that. They really do appreciate being able to see these things, and we'll always try and bring you stuff relevant, that we think you'll like one. There you go. Now then, before we do anything else, I must go back over the wearing in Clare and the anagram before we move on to our next bit this evening. So before we do anything, I've got to find it all. As usual, got a great big long list in front of me this evening, so I'm going to find it is in the right place. Now, wearing Hinckley first. Right, here we go. Wearing in Clare. Absolutely. Where's that little window that gives you a real good commanding view to the east of the town? Blimey. You can tell I've had a compass for dinner. It looks out eastwards. But where is it? We'll show you and tell you by the end of the programme when we'll invite you to put your suggestions exactly where it is. Trust me, it's prominent. Absolutely it is. And also, we've also had a message from David Blower. He said, please, can you give us another go at the old aniogram? Give you a refresher. Well, there you go. Look. Absorbance hyphenates raincoat. Now, if you rearrange that, you'll get a once well-known landmark on the edge of the town. There. I can't say no more because that's it. Because me and Sue were really trying to give you a cryptic clue, but no matter which way we tried to do the cryptic clue, it would give it away. That's how it is, isn't it, Mrs. She's nodding, yeah. So there you go. I'll leave it on the screen just a couple of moments more so you can get all those right letters down, David Blower. Absorbance hyphenates raincoat. Rearrange that and you'll find the location of a once well-known landmark on the edge of the town. Nobody yet has said, I've got the anagram. So work on that one because it's a good one. And normally we get to this part of the programme and somebody says, got the anagram. It's keeping John Denny quiet at the moment, that's for sure. So maybe we'll get away with it tonight without anybody getting it right, which would be a first, I think. So, hey, we might be on a bit of a record breaker ourselves this evening. Okay, then, low. So there we go. Left it on long enough, I think. So, meanwhile, come back. So we'll come back to that. We'll give you another chance to have a go before the end of the programme. Still got a nose there to come up with Steve Picker. That's coming up very shortly. But not only was it on on Friday, was we all on the telly, as it were, on East Midlands Today. Actually, for those who didn't know, we're also on the telly on Thursday night. Why? Yeah. Well, listen, maybe if I show you this, because I've got to show you this, because I know once again, and a lot of people will know this gentleman who has been servicing the town with bikes for as long as ever I can remember. And once again, from the BBC, these pictures, They were comparing Trevor Page of B. Page and Sons to service. He served longer than the Queen in his present job, and this is how they broadcast it.
We may be gearing up to celebrate the Queen's 70-year reign, but she's not the only one with an extraordinary service record. At this cycle shop in Hinckley, Trevor is also not the retiring type.
I started work at 14. They taught me all the trade and the building of the wheels, the bikes and whatever, and I've just gone on from that.
For nearly 75 years.
That's right.
75 years.
That's right. Just like it, it's a passion. It's better than sitting about, isn't it, and doing gardening.
A former racer himself, Trevor took over the family business in the 1960s. It's now more than 90 years old. A lot has changed in that time, but certainly not Trevor's love of cycling.
He may not look it, but Trevor here is almost 90 and he's been coming into this shop most days of the week until ill health forced him to have a rest. But he's keen to carry on working when he can, and in the meantime, he's delegating duties, just like the Queen.
Is that the right gearing, 2x8?
And that's where Trevor's daughter, Nicola, comes in.
I often joke with customers because they always ask about whether my dad will ever retire, and I've always said it's a little bit like the Queen and Prince Charles. I'm waiting in the wings for the gradual handover, and it never happens.
And speaking of the Queen, what does Trevor think about working for longer than Her Majesty?
I feel great. It's just a thing that you think, well, you've beat the royalty, haven't you, sort of thing.
What advice would you give to the Queen for the next sort of 5 years?
Get on a bike.
Amy Payne, BBC East Midlands Today, Hinckley.
And you see, I've done really, really well. So being in the news, 2 days on the trot, listen, it's time we've got Hinckley on the map, and I think we're really achieving it with various people. And these things happen because people are keen. They want to make these things happen. And so full marks to people who are getting Hinckley on the telly for the right reasons. Yeah. Now then. Right, yeah, and lots of memories coming in now about Trevor Page and B Page and Son, of course. Carol Saccone said, that's where I got my fold-up bike from many years ago now. Absolutely, many people. I mean, Trevor Page, it's been there as long as ever I can remember. Even when I was a little lad, I can still, I see him, yeah, and almost looks the same, you know what I mean? Congratulations to him. Thanks to the BBC for the pictures as well. And well. So isn't it great to have such coverage? Okay, another quick chance to have a quick look at the anagram because we're going to go for a nosy very, very shortly. Yeah, so I want to get yourself ready. So that's because I know Steve is with us this evening. Oh, and keep those likes coming as well. Thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind, that is great. My original plan tonight was to actually show you, I think I might show you a little bit of the Earl Shilton past and present as well. I think we're going to do that just ahead of the nosy. I'm just keeping an eye on the time because I didn't know how it was going to stretch along tonight. I know. Aren't you spoilt? Absolutely you are. Right, okay then. So, is the anagram one more time? Absorbance hyphenates raincoat. Rearrange that. And you get a once well-known landmark on the edge of town. No Ian Walker, not Nuneaton. Naughty boy. But that is what you will get if you rearrange that. And also, are wearing Hinckley this evening. It's all very, it's all very, very good tonight. Yeah. Now then. Okay, there we go. And we've also got, keep your messages coming in, of course, because Queen Bee says, I remember Trevor well. He was a great friend of my late brother, Frank Johnson. You see, everybody connects in one way or another. We'll know. And our cat ran up your entry and all blooming sorts. We do all that, absolutely. Right. I'm going to give you just what more. I ought to see, I think the nose is about 20 minutes this evening. So I think I can afford you 10, 15 minutes of a visit to Earl Shilton past and present. Then we'll do part 2 next week. Now, it will work this week. If you're watching, you might remember that last week it wouldn't work. No. It just went like that. It wasn't going to work at all. So today, hopefully, it will work. Yeah. So let's go have a quick go over to Earl Shilton, past and present, and like I say, then we'll have our nosy this evening.
I'm Rosemary Coe, member of the Barwell Bits and Shilton Snips Heritage Group. Welcome to Earl Shilton. Mentioned in the Doomsday Book, it's grown from a village into a town with a proud and inspiring history. Many local entrepreneurs built thriving manufacturing businesses, producing millions of pairs of shoes and nylon hose, both for the home market and overseas, providing jobs for thousands of people. In the past, Earl Shilton boasted other industries, including a quarry, its own gas and coke company, a cinema and a skating rink, to name but a few. The skyline of the High Street and the Hollow remains virtually unchanged, though much has evolved over the years beneath those roofs, with many stories to tell. Join us now and reminisce as we journey along the main streets through the centre of the village, recalling Earl Shilton, past and present. We begin our journey on the hill approaching Earl Shilton, a scene much changed from 50 years ago. The village derives its name from the Earls of Leicester, who would have visited their hunting lodge overlooking Leicester Forest West. The original name of Earl Shilton was an Anglo-Saxon name, Skultone, meaning on a shelf. Looking back down the hill, a much reduced gradient than its predecessor, cars and buses in particular would struggle with the steep gradient, especially in the winter months. In the days of horse transport, there was a toll gate situated along the new lay-by. In fact, an adjoining field is still known as the toll gate piece. On the right of this photo stood Racket Court, owned by Freddie Wildman, known as Stale Freddie, because he supplied bread and cheese to the tramps when they presented their coupons from the workhouse in Hinckley on the way to Leicester. This photo also shows a farm where a huge barn stood, being known locally as Barn End. On the left, demolished cottages bordering the road, which housed two families, and shows how close to the road they stood and how narrow the road was.
This scene has hardly changed, with the exception of the model of car driven by Dr. Cook on his way to church with his wife. Just further up the road stood two thatched cottages, later demolished to make way for a car park. On the opposite side of the road is the site of the original slaughterhouse, which belonged to the butcher's shop. Once owned by the Reynolds family, then later Circums, it's shown here as the first house in the row. These modern townhouses stand on the site of the Roebuck public house. Looking back towards the top of the hill, Racket Court can be seen on the corner of Church Street. The double-fronted house to the left was the home of the Whitmore family, which adjoined their boot and shoe factory. Here it is at the present time. The factory suffered, as did so many during the decline in the 1980s. It's now industrial units, one being music rehearsal rooms, where it is reported that Kasabian rehearsed in the early days of their band. Keats Lane, originally known as Cake Lane, was the site of a communal bread oven. There was also a glove factory owned by Mr. Linney, which produced white gloves for policemen on traffic duty. Keats Lane is also the site of one of the oldest public houses, the Dog and Gun, right at the far end. The shop just inside the lane is now offices, but it was previously a general store known as Tom Baker's. These cottages stood in the new car park opposite Ashfield's restaurant. Supreme Motorcycles now occupies the site previously used by Whitmore's. The wrought iron archway in the background leads to the Hall Field and the parish church of St Simon and St Jude. In the 12th century, it was the site of the Mott and Bailey hunting lodge. Looking across from the car park on the corner of the High Street in Keats Lane is a noodle bar. Although there have been many occupants of this shop for many years, it was owned by Amy Birch, who sold paraffin together with general groceries. Earl Shilton boasted many of these small corner shops, thriving alongside the boot and shoe and hosiery factories.
Ashfield's, now a successful restaurant for 3 decades, was originally the Bowling Green Public House. Looking back towards Hilltop, on the left is a row of terraced houses known as Bradbury's Row. At the rear of the houses stood Norton and Bradbury's hosiery factory. The tall chimney could be seen quite clearly on the approach from Leicester, proudly displaying N and B in blue brick around the top of the chimney. Hilltop House, a Grade II listed building, was the residence of Dr. Garrett, followed by Dr. Cook. The surgery was built to the side of the house, where patients waited to be seen, all the while listening in silence to Dr. Cook's booming Scottish accent, giving his diagnosis to his patient in the next room. No secrets in those days. A rear view of Hilltop House in the early 19th century, complete with domestic staff. The camera was a fascination to these residents. A past and present view of Upper High Street. In the distance is Post Office Row, but more of this later. Bradbury's house stands next to the terraced row, and to the right-hand side is the White House, known as Hewenden House, which was once occupied by a dentist, Mr. Goodson, and later became Halstead, the chemist. At the end of this row, the house before the garage, was where Mr. Davis, the optician, had his business until the move to the Hollow in the late 1970s. On the opposite side of the High Street stood the stables and garages belonging to the doctor's house and are currently being rebuilt as a dwelling. It will be appropriately named the Coach House. Joe Lucas had his shoe business on both sides of the High Street. He started in a house at the end of Post Office Row, later moving over the road when Post Office Row was demolished. This building has since been occupied by a variety of companies.
Next comes a more modern building, built by Maynards, occupying the same site as their original factory, shown here prior to demolition. Lance Collier's fish shop was in this row, as well as Maxfield's shop. It originally sold machine oil and sundries for the hosiery trade. Between the telegraph poles stands Post Office Row, housing the first village post office and also Mr. Waters' cobbler's shop. Opposite is the sad site of the demolition, of Tormental Row. This had to be done to provide road widening as the village was on the increasingly busy main A47.
Looking back to Post Office Row, in the foreground can be seen the monkey puzzle tree, for many years a landmark which stood just behind the wall in the old Victorian vicarage garden. On the left is White's shop, displaying an advertising board for Tizer. Mr. White also sold produce from his own market garden. On the site of Post Office Row now stands the parish church hall. The photograph shows the vicarage and a commanding view of the parish church steeple. The Jitty is known locally as Gaffer's Alley and leads to the Hall Field. A fine shot of the monkey puzzle tree, under whose branches many generations have played in the school playground. An elegant shot of the old school on the high street, showing the boys' entrance, the girls and infants being around the corner in Ormers Lane. The foreground shows the entrance to the old vicarage. The school and other adjacent buildings were eventually demolished, but the monkey puzzle tree was retained. New apartments encompass the site of the school, together with other shops and cottages. This photograph shows the shops and cottages prior to redevelopment.
Immediately on the left was Bill Cox's newsagent. Bill is seen here proudly showing his patriotism on the occasion of the coronation of King George V. This building replaced Mr. Cox's shop and remains sandwiched between two blocks of the new development. On the opposite side of the road was the Working Men's Club. During the Second World War, soldiers were billeted there. It was said to have the best ballroom floor in the East Midlands. Dances of all kinds were held well into the 1970s. Many factory and sporting organisations held dinner dances at the club. It also hosted wedding receptions. On Boxing Day, whole families, complete with turkey sandwiches, would enjoy free and easy entertainment. This view from West Street shows the ballroom entrance and the start of the demolition. More apartments have been built on the site. The factory in the background was owned by Nevitz. It was an engineering company aligned to the hosiery industry. Previous occupants of this house were local businessmen Abraham Abbott, Mr. Best, a grocer and baker, and Peter Keatley, a bookmaker. It's now an award-winning fish and chip shop.
Next door is an original building which is occupied by Ironcraft, a manufacturer of ornamental wrought ironwork. Teddy Kirk, a previous occupant, was well known in the village, being the local undertaker and carpenter. He could often be found taking an afternoon nap lying in one of his coffins. To the rear of this building can be seen the remains of the forge belonging to the blacksmith's shop. Here's Mr. Gibbs busy at work. Across the road at the junction with Ormers Lane.
Okay, we're going to leave it there because, like I say, it's a long film and I'm going to show the rest of that next week because I don't want to go on too long tonight because you're sure you've got other things you'd much rather do. So we'll continue our tour of Earl Shilton past and present next week. Okay, so there you go. Because I know a lot of you are gagging for your nose there. Yeah, and 8:30 on a Monday night if you ain't had your nose there, you know, before the 9 o'clock horses come along, you know what I mean? So there we go. But like I say, we'll show the rest of that next week because the actual total running of that film is over 50 minutes long and we don't have time for that. Now then, listen, I've just been looking at all the chat and no one so far getting the anagram. Oh! So I've just said to Mrs. G, said, well, I'll have to give them a subtle clue. I said, no. We'll do it on a rollover for next week. So if you don't get it this week, you're going to get it next week. So it'll give you the whole week to have a go. All right. That's what we're thinking of doing. So unless somebody gets it right, then we will, we will roll this one over to next week. If you've just joined us and you want to go, if you want to have a go at it, the anagram, well, here it is. I'm a little surprised some people haven't got it, to be totally honest, because you should have all heard of it. That's all I can say. If you know a little bit of your town history, you should know of it. There you go. Absorbance-H raincoat, a once well-known landmark on the edge of town. Have a little think. Just play about with those words. Honestly, just play about with them. Right, okay then. So there we go with the anagram, possibly on for a rollover. We'll find out before the end of the programme whether we'll be playing this one next week. And of course, there it is. There's our Where in Hinckley. It's in an old building. In fact, the buildings you see are old. So they're not, as you can see, they are not new. Chances are you have been in this shop with the little window in the top there. And if you haven't been in that shop, you probably bought from the one in front. As simple as that. It's here in the town centre, but facing east, though. Ooh. Next time you go that end of the town, you'll say, oh, so it is. You know what it's like. Okay, then. So that's where we are so far this evening. Right, okay, then. Steve Picker, the man, the legend, the man that... I could say more, but I've got to be really, really careful here. By the way, we have asked Steve to come along one night to one of our social nights and do a talk about how he does his noses, and we'll probably show a few of his highlights and stuff on the screen behind him. We have arranged for Steve to come. Well, we're in the process of arranging Steve to come sometime in the coming months. I'll say that months, then we're pretty well open on that. So that'll be good. But Steve has been out and about and, crawling through ditches and drains and potholes and all sorts to bring you the latest noser. So if you haven't been to his channel, of course, gives you a chance now to stay nice and clean and warm. Go on, get that cup of tea on, a nice Dunkin' biscuit. Oh, look, and Alan Cropp says, why don't he come along and bring his band? Oh, my word, have we got a music licence at HDPP? That's something. However, sit back and enjoy this week's Nosy with our wonderful Mr. Steve Picker. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Nosy himself, Steve Picker.
Told you, didn't I? Oh, I don't want to go and look at that, Steve. It's getting dark. Yeah. Oh, bloody spiders. You know.
I can read his mind.
Can't, can you? You really don't want to read it right now?
No, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's perfectly square. Isn't it? Him being all Italian, Mamma mia, me don't want you going in there. Pedestrian at the roof. AC Milan, Juventus and all that. Pepperoni pizza. I don't want to go in there. That was so crap, wasn't it, that was? Dave! What the bloody hell's this? Hello, hey up and hey diddling. My name is Steve. Your name is?
I'm delighted, Dave.
There you go, you heard it here first, another world exclusive. Right then, so I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been feeling a little bit guilty, Anna Dave.
Yeah.
Why have I been feeling guilty?
Because you've not done any videos and we've not been out exploring.
And we didn't even rehearse that. How did you? That's genuine. I wasn't expecting you to know.
I can read his mind.
Can't, can you? You really don't want to read it right now?
No, I don't,
no. Anyway, anyway, it's Sunday night. It's around. We've actually already been exploring. As you can see, I'm a bit dirty, and you'll see why in the video in a bit. You know what we're like. We're like great big kids, aren't we? But this is the northern entrance. It isn't it? We're at the north. Entrance. Just up there is Staunton Harold Hall. I'm not sure if we're just inside Leicestershire at this point or we're just over the border in South Derbyshire. I'm not sure. But I come and walk round here the other day. Long story short, the last video I did showed you part of the old Ticknall tramway that opened in 1802. But there were a spur off that went to an area just over there, a lime workings and lead workings called Dimmingsdales. That was your phone, that's very unprofessional. It was, yeah. Anyway, don't matter, I'll let you off this time. Just put an imaginary quid in the random phone noise box. Anyway, so at this point here, I'm going to show you in a minute, there was a spur of the tramway and we've got some stone sets here. Now, these little tramways at this end were put in around about 1828, 1830. Now, the famous canal and tramway engineer, Benjamin Outram, who I think died in around about 1804. We're in the very early 1800s anyway. He designed the Ticknall tramway that opened in 1802. But like I say, these branches around this workings that you're going to see today, they were towards the end of the 1820s, but still very old. Anyway, got some beautiful old stone sets to show you down here. Shall we show them, Dave?
Yep, let's get to it.
Right then, so of course, as you've just seen, Staunton Harold Hall's up there. This is the northern entry of it, but it's just here where it gets interesting, because this footpath here, this is part of an old tramway. Now, we're not sure if it was just going to that driveway, or as Dave mentioned earlier, went up there towards the hall on this bit of a path at the side of the road. But what's fascinating down here, we've still got the old stone sets in situ. Now, I was down here last weekend and I was actually cleaning out the actual plug holes on the actual stone sets themselves, and when I came across it, like I said, I didn't realise the tramway came down here at this point. But yeah, look at these, still in situ. Amazing. And as you'll see, I've cleaned a couple of them out last weekend. Show them these, Dave, aren't they lovely? So great to still have these here. Let's look at that. So, although Benjamin Outram, of course, didn't design this particular tramway, they're still using his methods of these stone sets. Of course, you know, modern day railways and what became the railways, because it's funny, isn't it? You know, the tramways were built to supply the canals, and then they ended up succeeding the canals, which, you know, the canal owners and what have you weren't happy about, because it were going to put them out of business, wasn't it? You know what I mean? But so, yeah, it would have been on the other side. Now, whether there's any buried in the undergrowth, I don't know. I'm not going in there tonight, but these are lovely, aren't they, look? Look at that. So, just around about here, you'll see in a minute, there's an old junction here, look, isn't there, Dave? Right, so as I've just mentioned to you, you might be interested to know, that's where the stone sets are, up there on that path. And where Dave's standing with the camera right now, it branches off to the right here and then goes off up towards the main Ticknall tramway. Now, just down here, we've got a bit of a stream, and you know what I'm going to say, but we're not, I'm not going to go down there this evening because it's a, or shall I? I'll give you a quick look. I ain't got no wellies on, right. Right, so I am going to go down and have a look because it looks a bit more interesting than I first thought it was. I came down here, yeah, I came down here last weekend, but didn't come in here because I'd only got my shorts on. Right, the only problem is now I've got to try and get down. That's my best route.
It does look interesting, actually, Steve.
Yeah, it does. You see, it won't get dark yet. Right, so this culvert, I'm actually going to show it you. This is really old. Well, it's probably late 1820s. I'm going to show you inside it in a minute. I might be able to get in it a little way. It's Spider Bloody City as Pews. It's got a stone floor, Dave. Look at them. That's amazing. Yeah, this was worth looking at. Hey up. Do you need some medication, Dave? Yeah. Told you, didn't I? Oh, I don't want to go and look at that, Steve. It's getting dark. Well, you don't talk like that, I know, but...
Get him!
Look at them spider webs, Dave. Let's show you in here, anyway. It's a nice one. Yeah. Oh, bloody spiders. Right, so we'll go in here so far, ain't going all the way. Oh, bloody hell, here we go again. I mean, I don't know if I can get out the other side. We've not ventured that far, but it's interesting. I mean, look at this old stonework here, look. Still got the mason's marks on, can you see them? And then it goes to brickwork just there, but... We must be mad, Dave.
Try not to disturb the walls, Steve, because they're very insecure.
Yeah, don't say things like that. Yeah, so it's a nice one, this is. But these spiders, bloody hell. Got something crawling on my neck or something, but yeah. Look at that, that's nice, isn't it? But there's something on that wall up there, but I don't want to go all the way up, Dave, and then have to reverse all the way, because we don't know, do we?
You must be able to get out the other end. You must be able to.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll have a look the other end. Okay. That's lovely, that is. Look at that. Right, so here we are again. Now, I was going to get in here and crawl up it, but it's not. I mean, the water's shallow. The water ain't a problem. It'll just be my knees that are wet. But the problem is, this end, it's a bit more dilapidated, shall we say. Can you see what I'm saying? It's not. I don't want to be crawling up there, grab onto the side, because some of this brickwork's quite brittle, and then a section of it fall in, because it could do. I mean, you just don't know, do you? You've got to be about right and watch what you're doing. But yeah, interestingly constructed culvert, that's for sure. Anyway, let's press on. I ordered this new bed, you know, and it turned up yesterday morning. And they sent a trampoline, hadn't they, instead of a bed. Vanessa hit the roof. She did. You like that one?
I like that one. It's a cracker.
And that is courtesy of Paul Gardner at Hinckley District Past and Present. He posted that on Facebook the other day. And sometimes I don't actually laugh out loud at things, but you know when we do that, we put LOL, don't we? Laugh out loud, but you don't really. But I really did it, that. It really got me, that did. Right then, so this Dimmingsdales, you know, it's such a great example of what nature does when mankind up and leave. Now this quarry, of course, they pretty much stopped workings here in roughly 1870, so, you know, really long time ago. But just down here, I'm going to show you these old lime kilns here. Spectacular, isn't they, Dave?
Amazing.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, amazing. What a location as well.
Yeah, well, you've never been here, have you? I'm surprised when you said you'd never been. But yeah, let me show you these anyway, these lime kilns. They're fantastic, these are. It's an amazing place, this is, you know. It's open to the public, like a nature reserve. It's absolutely fantastic. In general, it's a beautiful area, this. You've got Staunton Harold Hall just over there. You've got Cole Cabby Hall over there. And over there, behind the camera, you've got Sod Hall. That's where I belong. Anyway, so just down here, I'll show you this a bit closer up in a second. Got a beautiful old lime kiln here. We've got one there. Now, there were 6 altogether, I think. There's a bit of a hole over there. Probably won't show you all of them, but hey, look at this anyway. And there you have it, a beautiful old lime kiln. And once again, taken over by nature. And, you know, just look at these trees here, look. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's not a new tree either. There's Dave, look. Hey. But that's not a new tree, that ain't. And it's incredible what nature does. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of nature, but yeah, look at that. Amazing stuff. Old industrial history. Can't beat it. Right then, Dave, you can't come to a place like this where there's an abundance of wild garlic and not sample any. We won't try any near the path for obvious reasons, because there's a lot of Labradors around here. Do you know what I'm saying? But I love the stuff I do. That looks like a good bit. That looks decent. Yeah, yeah. Should probably wash it really, shouldn't you? But no dog piss right like that. It's amazing, isn't it? Honestly, you know, if you like garlic, a bit strong that bit. Oh, Jesus Christ! What are they putting in it round here? Hey, jalapeno bloody garlic or what?
That is strong.
This is here.
If you do like this, come to these places, stay clear of the past, bag it up, put it in your salad, put it in your pasta. Amazing.
Oh, I've had it in my pasta for work, you know. No one will come near me at work, colleagues and that, you know. It's great to keep them away, management and what have you, do you know what I mean? But yeah, do you know what, you've got all this on your doorstep.
That is strong, Steve.
Dave, it's incredible here, isn't it?
Yeah. This is one of the nicest places I've been in a long time, and I've never been here. This
No.
area you're in now is just amazing.
Beautiful. So we can see what else we can see up there.
Yeah,
I've got something interesting to show you. Just up here, Dave. Just up here.
Let's go.
Is that there were old, you know, buildings and what have you scattered about this place, and of course, we've just come to this area where they've been felling a few saplings and what have you, and cutting branches back, and just found a really old brick from a building. Now, just here, I'm not going to show you too closely because it's very hard to see there. There's a bit of a hole here. Now, they've covered it over a bit, and I don't know. So, well, that wind's getting up a bit, Dave. I hope I ain't going to hammer it down. At least we ain't too far from the car. But yeah, if we uncover this, Dave, this might be an old cellar or something like that. You've got a brick wall, have you? Yeah. And this is the beauty about this sort of thing, isn't it, Dave? This is the stuff that I love the most, tearing into things. It's not always too great for you, the viewer, I suppose, because you're not always seeing something in great detail. But for me, this is where my love for it lies, to be honest with you. So what me and Dave thought was going to be wouldn't see too much, we've actually seen a little bit more than we first thought. But, you know, like Del Boy Trotter used to say, he who dares wins, he who hesitates don't. Something like that, innit, Dave? Crikey. You see that muck disappear, look, down that hole?
You got your torch, Steve?
Hey, it's round. It's rounded.
No.
What the bloody hell's that then?
You got your torch, Steve?
It's in your bag. Hold on. We're still rolling. this is where
become exciting.
This is where it's at. Look at this. Here we are again, Dave.
Sunday
Here we all are. Sunday evening. Where's my torch? Why is it always me doing the grunt work? Hey?
If I had my long trousers on, I'd be down there.
What, the long trousers or the wrong trousers, like Wallace and Gromit? Hey? I bet Indiana Jones has got some of them, ain't there? Bloody hell. Oh yeah, hey up.
Hey, it's open this side
Yeah,
as well.
it's opening up. That's right, you supervise the job. Hey?
Look at this.
Well, yeah, look at this. Look at Steve sweating his tits off again.
Steve sweating his tits off again, yeah.
Hey? Right then, I hope you can see that a bit better now. So we've got this bit of an hole here. Don't know what's going on at the minute. It's shooting down. So I'm just going to try and clear it best I can. I'm not going down it. I mean, I've lost weight, but I ain't that bloody thin. Got roots going in it, Dave.
Yeah, that side looks like it's filled in, but the other side doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. I'm always at the shit end of the stick, I am, ain't I? Hey? Yeah. What do you reckon? I'll walk in, Marvin S will say, what you been bloody doing? I mean, she don't sound like that when she talks, but... Right, once this is out of the way, that'll be easier. All we need now is Steve follows here. We could hang him upside down.
Yeah, drop him down.
The walkabout Wazzock, aka the pissed up priest. I've got decent jeans on here, you know. Well, I didn't know we were going to be... Look at this, look. Strange grub here, look. Trying to bite me. You mean, no, the bloody noonies are, you cheeky swine. Hey? Oh, that's heavy at an angle. Oh shit. Ugh. Right. You know what this is, don't you?
What's that?
It's Bilbo Baggins' house. We're at Bag End. We're at Bag End.
Have a look down there like that. It's definitely...
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, just stick your head.
Bilbo Baggins' house.
I've cut my bloody thumb.
That is, I think that's a chimney out of a kiln. And I think, because if you look in there, Steve, it's round. There's a window frame about where your foot is.
Wow.
Laying down. But it's round and it's all burning on the walls.
Right. Sunday night and here we go again. I've got to put my builder's arse away. Right, so you want me to stick my nose in here then, do you, Dave?
Yeah, upside down.
Things you bloody do.
And have a nosy round. It's very interesting.
Going underground. Oh, wow.
Is it?
Bloody hell.
See the burning?
Dave. What the bloody hell's this? Oh, we've got to clear this out. No. Oh my, what the hell's that? Del Boy, I've seen some, I can see lights. I don't know what it is. It's not a brick. Oh, I can't show them that because if I lose my phone down there, I ain't getting it out. Dave, Well, for starters, we can't get in there from the top, can we? It's not very wide. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but it's perfectly square, isn't it?
Signs of burning on the walls, isn't there?
I think so. Oh, bloody hell.
Steve, here's one. Here's something. Was there a steam-powered machine here, and that was where the coal was loaded in?
I don't know.
Dropped into it to feed it.
Do you reckon there's a steam-powered shower anywhere?
I don't know.
Yeah, to be continued with this.
Yeah. Fascinating. Amazing, isn't it, that is?
I tell you what, Dave, it's non-stop bloody Mardi Gras, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just a bit disappointed, if I'm being honest with you, that I couldn't really show you in there, but the old thingamabob that the actual camera is wedged into, it's a bit delicate, if you know what I'm saying, so I didn't want to lose my phone because I would not have got it out. But, see there, look, got something else interesting here. And I came down here last weekend, seen this by chance. I just walked across the path in front of the camera there and seen this little dark hole here. And it's not very big, but what it is fascinating. So have a gander at this, me lad and me ladettes.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, let's get a little nosy at this little building here that looks like it was built for a hobbit. Yeah, let's look at that, really old stonework. Now I think this may well be an old gunpowder store. You know, the dynamite for when they were blasting in the lime works behind me in the quarry there. Could be wrong, but usually they used to keep dynamite and what have you in little buildings like this. Look at this old stonework here. Very old this is, you know. Like I say, this quarry was finished with by around about 1870, so it's very, very old. Yeah, just thought I'd show you that. Great little piece of detail, that, isn't it? Right, very interesting that, wasn't it?
Very interesting.
What do you reckon?
What a superb place.
Yeah.
We've only just touched the tip of the iceberg here. There's so much to explore.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to have to do, where I was, well, where both me and Dave were sticking his head into that hole, we're going to have to do a part 2 there. Now, I'm sorry that I didn't stick you down the hole as well, but I really didn't want to lose my phone. And not only that, I've got my microphone transmitter on that as well, and they're not the cheapest of toys. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's quite easy to clear that out, wasn't it? Enough to...
Yeah. Go on then.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Oh, yeah.
Go on then.
we need to put clothes on and that, a couple of spades.
Yeah, I think it's worth investigating further because it weren't the only one there. But I hope you've enjoyed this video anyway. The birds are singing, Dave.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
Really puts your mind at rest when you come to a place like this, don't you reckon?
If you was in a bad mood, you would have forgotten you was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Been in a place like that.
Amazing. But anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video. We've seen a bit. That culvert we're interested. We said we weren't even going to go in there, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh, I don't want to, him being all Italian. Mamma mia, me don't want you going in there. AC Milan, Juventus and all that. Pepperoni pizza. But anyway, anything else to add, Dave?
No, I've had a good night. I've missed me buddy. So
Yeah.
it's been nice to
All
be
right,
out with me,
all
buddy.
right. You're going all Italian on me. I was okay.
Mamma mia.
I'm only joking, Dave. We love you really.
Yeah,
we love you really. Anyway, that's enough bloody prattling about. Do you know, I couldn't half murder of an Essa cup of tea. An Essie tea.
Let's go then.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching as per usual. He really did just run off as well. Stop. Exploring friend. I think we've gone mad. It must be that wild garlic, Dave.
Yeah, it's that wild garlic.
Yeah. Anyway. Daft it, mate. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. And do you know what? We'll do a part 2. We'll come and get in there and see what... Because it was fascinating. Anyway, see you very soon. While we're going that way, the phone's here. Right, come on. That's enough of that. Wait right in the head.
Jones will help us clear that out.
Yeah. We're still recording.
Oh, are we?
I am going now. This is really... No, you hang up. All right, I'll hang up. No, you hang up.
You hang up.
Yeah. We're really not right, are we?
No.
Are we going? What would...
Hello?
Yeah. Don't...
Oh.
You're doing, you moved it. Right, but we are going now. All right, yeah. TTFN, try me ducks. Bye-bye.
They finally went. Oh, dear. Nice one, Steve. I'm going to be honest, I caught bits of that because Mrs. G got me on tea-making duties during that. So I've seen snippets of that. But anyway, great nose there. Look forward to part 2 when you go back there with your big shovels and stuff. It sounds very interesting. And as Ian Roberts says, amazing what's still in the countryside after years of not being in use. Very, very true, Ian. Absolutely. So there we go. A wonderful nosy. And like I say, Steve will have another one for us very, very soon. A lot of people saying thank you. Alan Kropp says, Steve, Dave, great video. As does Daniel Coburn. Brilliant video, Steve. Loved it. Absolutely. Brilliant. Yeah, and Steve was messaging me, said, I've messaged you about this military place before, Paul, you know. Lovely. And Ian Roberts, the Shawshank Redemption had nothing on this, and I think he's right. Brilliant. Well done, guys. Superb. And we look forward to another noser. Hopefully, whether there'll be one next week, who knows? Or maybe we'll have to go vintage again and see that young lad that presents those ones. I don't know. However, okay then. Now listen, tonight we are in probably a very unique position. A minute. And if I sit here, that's quite unique as well. Interestingly enough, we're going to see if anyone has got the anagram. So hang on, don't put the answer in yet. First of all, let's do the where in Hinckley. We'll do that first because that's the first one. So where in Hinckley, we've been asking. Whereabouts in Hinckley? Does anybody know? Just give it a moment for people to type your answer now in the chat room. If you think you know where in Hinckley that is. I'll just give you a moment for the messages to get through because we always have to allow about 20 seconds for the delay in signal, etc., etc. Jeff Wallace, above Hellcats. Well, yes, I will give you that. Absolutely right. Oh, Jan Kirby's in Church Walk. I sometimes wonder where Jan gets to. I really do. Nice one, Jan, but no. We're actually above Hellcats, and I'll show you exactly where. Here is where we are. Look. So Hellcats is the tattoo parlour, which is what the little window is part of. But if somebody had said it's Stars Takeaway, I would have gave you that too. So that's where we were. So that's the little window that looks over east. Yes, commanding views, because obviously one of the highest points of the town is there. So there you go. John Denny said, I thought it might be Church Walk as well. Obviously been on too much wine there, John. In fact, I'm surprised that you haven't even had a go at the old Haniogram. Now, the Haniogram, let's just put it on again. I want to see if anybody is going to have a go at this, because for the very first time ever, unless David Blower comes through now in a last-ditch attempt to tell me what it is. Oh, yeah. So I'm just reading the message there. Now then, if you're reading the text, you'll see, because I'm quite prepared to run this over, but you're not quite there, mate. That's all I shall say. Can I delete that before anybody else sees it? I'm going to be awful. Dave B, you're on the right lines. You're on the right lines. Absolutely. Absorbent -X raincoat, so once well-known landmark on the edge of the town. It's not a building, it's got a military collection. That's it. Right, I'm closing the anagram now. Don't send it. Oh, Jan Kirby, seen it. Oh, dear. Right, let's have a look. So anyway, I think what I shall do, just for the sheer fun of it, and because I can, I'm going to roll that over for next week, because a certain Jeff Wallace is going to have nights of sleep, so going to have long nights, sleepless nights, thinking, I don't get that quite. David Blower, you are very, very close. That's what I shall say. But that's not the right, yeah, anyway, that's why I've removed it so nobody else sees it, so you've got a whole week to work on it, okay? But you are on the right lines with it. I'll give you that, David. We can probably talk about that Wednesday night if you're still coming to the social night, which incidentally, just to remind people, do not forget this, please, folks. It's going to be a great night. I just can't wait. Really, I'm looking forward to this. Come along. and join us on this night. We've issued tickets, they're free, but there is still one or two which should be available on the door on the night. But come along, don't miss it, because you won't be able to see this presentation anywhere else, okay? Okay, so that's on Wednesday night. Come along. And we will have room because Joan Walker won't be there and Lynn Lowe won't be there because they've decided to go off on a holiday. Fancy people going away on holiday and missing the... See, we put these things on, and what do you lot do? You go away on holiday. In future, always consult the HDPP diary first before booking your holidays. Makes common sense to me, but there you go. All right, so we're rolling over we're going to have a rollover on the anagram. Next week, we'll have the same anagram again. Saves me having to type it all up, so I'm happy. And we'll see how you all do with that. But yeah, Dave B, you are on the right lines, but I'm leaving it at that. I'm not going to say anything else. But well done, but not quite right. So we'll roll it over because I want to have a report from Anna on how Jeff spends his long nights wide awake thinking, I can't get it, I don't know what he means. Yeah, I'm just kind of like that. And it's the first time this has ever happened. So let's go with it. Let's run with it. Okay. So we'll be doing the anagram. We'll be doing the same anagram next week, and it'll still be the same answer. So get your thinking caps on. We'll do that next week. Okay. We'll also have part 2 of the nosy round Il Shilton, past and present, and we may indeed have a vintage nosy, or better still, a new nosy. Who knows? Probably Steve will be taking his little mini JCB excavator up to that site and digging it out for all I know. Anyway, that's just about it from me and these. Sue's been in the background keeping things all in order. And as I say, if you're coming to the social night on Wednesday, everybody's welcome. Come along. Can't stress it enough, you know. Please come along. We'll look forward to seeing you there because it's going to be absolutely super. And and I think I've told you everything else that you need to know at this point in time. Don't forget to get your tickets for Sellers Night on the 28th of June. Tickets are free. Just get a ticket from us. We will have them with us on the social night on Wednesday night as well. It's so we know just how many people are coming for the night. Great tea and biscuits and a super tour round. It's going to be a fantastic night. So once again, if you're going on holiday, cancel it. Cancel it. You can do that another time. Come to our do's. We do these for your benefit, you know. John Denny, you can keep the anagram till next week now, because now he's got it. Now he's waiting for all the clues to come out. But anyway, no, we'll run it over to next week, John, and we'll buy you. All right? Okay. And on that note, it's good night from me. Remember to keep it HDPP, to keep it live. Good night. I'm really pleased about that, you know. That anagram's a real winner, I reckon. So we'll ban John Denny from entering next week, and then we'll run it all over again, save me having to type it. Oh, hello. Didn't know you were here. When did you come back in? My word. Part of the programme we never talk about is this bit. And who would talk about it? Blimey rubbish. No, it's the time when we tried to send you to bed with a smile on your face. And as Steve Picker said, using one of my gags, really enjoyed it. So let's see if we can send you to bed with a little chuckle tonight. And there's some, this is the good. I like some of these tonight. So sit back and enjoy. Let's see. I'm just going to make sure I've got my laughs ready. Because if I didn't do these, nobody'd laugh. That's true. Right, are we ready? Are we sitting comfortably? Right, then I'll begin. What do apples do at the gym? A core workout. That's just to get you in the... Yeah. Okay. A book hit me on the head. I only have my shelf to blame. Forget that one. Okay, then. Buying an expensive wig is a high price to pay. To pay. Do you get it? No one gets that one. Oh, I like buying an expensive wig is a high price to pay. Yeah, now he's got it. Oh, dear. No. I'm only familiar with 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Or... I like this bit. I sued the airline when I couldn't find my bag. I lost my case. Oh, dear, my word. I find whiteboards quite remarkable. Yes, now we got it. Oh, dear. I used to race cars for a living, but I found out they were much too faster than me. Now, my wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall by Oasis. I said, maybe. A dog that practices magic is a labracadabrador. Yes! He thought about it. Oh, dear. I've not finished yet. Pirates struggle to finish the alphabet. They get lost at sea. Oh, dear. At a job interview, they asked me, why should I hire you as a waiter? I said, I feel I'd bring a lot to the table. Go, Gardner. No. Oh, I don't know. However, putting my car in reverse really takes me back. I'm nearly there now. Oh, dear. The doctor told me I was going deaf. It was hard to hear. Nearly there, last two. I buy all my weapons from a T-Rex. He's a small arms dealer. Oh, dear. And finally, whoever stole my iPad should FaceTime. Yeah. Brilliant. Don't you just love them? Enough to give you the hiccups every time. You see? And on that, hopefully, we've sent you to bed with a smile on your face. If not, we'll be back. We'll be back next Monday night. See you Wednesday night at the social. Really looking forward to it. Until then, take care. God bless. Ta-da.